What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about how to spot a good man or 5 signs that he may be a good man. A lot of women often ask me, where are all the good men? And in general, I tell them that good men are both everywhere and nowhere. It's all a matter of perspective. The women who not only hope for, but actually respond to good character, find good men everywhere. On the contrary, the women who have grown emotionally unavailable and a lot more hopeless in their desires to find a good man, find good men nowhere. Again, it's all a matter of perspective. So many don't take time enough to observe the qualities that a man presents. And many of the ones that do make those observations and filter them through their own fears and anxieties and failed experiences. In this video, I'll talk about the positive traits that you may observe in the man that may be good. But again, there are no absolutes. So you still want to notice a pattern of these traits. And after watching this video, it may be good to take note of some of the men you know. But before I start, I would like to tell you about today's sponsor, Been Verified. Since we're talking about good men and being selective, I guess a bonus sign before I even get into my list is that he could pass a background check. And that the things that are deal breakers for you don't show up on one. I've talked to several of my subscribers since first introducing Been Verified who have found very scary and disappointing things about the men they have started to talk to. Many of the ones I spoke to used Been Verified to check a man's background they were talking to and avoid a lot of trouble before they got heavily emotionally involved with these guys. A lot of metaphorical bullets can be dodged for less than $15 a month. Been Verified checks criminal history, address history, business licensing, phone numbers, unclaimed money, job history, email, social media accounts, and more. For all the Facebook stalking some of you are doing, this would be so much more useful, especially for those of you who are dealing with one of those I don't really do social media like that guys, which is a common thing that players say to keep women away from their social media accounts where they pick up other women. A lot of users have been saying that to women these days when it's really not true. Been Verified has been exposing the lies for many of my subscribers. And understand something, it's not about being paranoid, it's about being informed before putting yourself at risk and adding the wrong person to your life. So protect yourself, your friends, and your close family members by being well informed about the men that you bring into your life, among the many other uses for background checks. Go to checkbv.com/Kev for 15% off your monthly background check subscription. Now onto this topic. The first sign or character trait of a good man is he doesn't mind the weight that's placed on a man's shoulders to stand for something. He actually takes pride in it. He understands that a man's might is in his courage, his endurance, and in his perseverance. He's not looking for an easy way out or to be excused for laziness or imperfection. He takes pride in building, achieving, and growing. Even if it's just on a personal level, he's always on a journey. But he doesn't resent the weight placed on a man's shoulders. He embraces it. He holds himself to a conduct standard. He checks himself and he self-corrects. And he has an idea of what a great man is and strives to be just that. A lot of these guys spend more time complaining about what men go through and the pressures put on men than actually being a decent enough man. It's like the kid who doesn't do homework but complains about it all the time. Get yourself a man who looks into pressure and doesn't fold or bend or break himself morally. Get you a man who stands for something. That's the first sign of a good man. Moving on, the second sign of a good man is he exhibits patience. In life, in business, and dating, he exhibits patience. He's not chasing instant gratification. What that might look like when he's dealing with you is, while he wants sex like every other guy, which isn't inherently bad, it's not his number one motivation. Contrary to popular belief, men with high sex drives can also value healthy love. It's always assumed that some guy must lack alpha male qualities or masculinity if he's not focused primarily on sex. This is bullshit. Good men maintain a balance between intention, connection, integrity, and pleasure. A good man would be wise enough to be understanding about your distrust of new men and won't try to rush things physically, especially if he sees that you're trepidatious. They respect boundaries, implied or explicitly expressed, especially those boundaries attached to your fears and your anxieties. You have to remember, patience is a sign of emotional intelligence, and good men are emotionally intelligent. He's not so focused on getting laid that he's missed your trepidation or your anxiety around sex or heartbreak and failed to address it through consistency and consideration. That's because he wants you to feel safe, because he's serious. So he's going to protect your experience dealing with him. Moving on. The third sign a guy might be a good man is, in his conversation and in his conduct, you may find his morals and values to be obvious. Sometimes women sit across a man for hours on a date, and by the end of the night, they still don't know what the hell he stands for. Sometimes women catch feelings for a man so lazy in what he's offering that she has no ideas what his passions or beliefs are. A good man stands for something, and if you listen closely enough to what's not being said, you may find out what's real and what's fake. They always have a why or a reason for the way they live. Stay away from aimless men who lack purpose or passion. They will mishandle you. Moving on. The fourth sign that a guy might be a good man is, his respect for others is observable. A lot of times you can tell he has character just observing the way he deals with people that he's not in line to screw or get something from. He treats the people who have nothing to offer him with the same respect that he does the people he has something to gain from. He is aware of and cares about his impact on people. And if at all possible, he doesn't want to do any harm to anyone. People always think masculinity is always aggressive or some assertion of will. That's not always the case. You don't have to be intrusive to be masculine. And you definitely don't have to run over people. What's often characterized as toxic masculinity is actually wounded masculinity. It's not toxic because manliness is inherently bad. It's toxic because it comes from a place of hurt. It's toxic because it's ill-informed and misguided. It's toxic because it comes from a place of trauma often. Toxic masculinity is wounded masculinity, but masculinity in and of itself isn't toxic. So when you see somebody railroading other people, stomping on other people, trampling other people, that's not masculinity you're seeing. That's hurt people hurting people. That's a wounded man. Real men don't want to commit any harm, and they don't have to get where they're going, unless someone gets in their way and tries to stop their progress. I'll probably do a video soon about toxic masculinity, wounded masculinity, and healthy masculinity. And the difference between those ideas are far different than what you might be thinking. Society's vilifying a lot of regular male behaviors right now. So I'm looking forward to that video. Anyway, moving on. The fifth and final sign that a man might be a good guy is, he does the right thing. Always. And he's not looking to get over on anyone. He moves with integrity in all his dealings. Some men are full of scheme and get over. You've noticed them. The type of man who would admittedly use a woman if she's stupid enough to let them do it. The type of man who serves self even if it harms others. Sometimes just because a guy's not scheming you think you're safe. When that's not the case. A man who does wrong to one will do wrong to others, and too many women find that out after rolling off of their backs. When you're dealing with a good man, you'll immediately notice that his values don't change with the crowd or the audience or the opportunity. He's the same man no matter who's around, no matter who's in his company. He has the same approach whether he's in line at Walmart, in traffic, or in a comment section. A real man is a man at all times. He doesn't take the cowards away, and he has a deep sense of responsibility to uphold the values that people expect of him and the values that he expects of himself. And again, he doesn't resent the pressure to be any of the 5 things I've mentioned here. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Again, if you want to try it, go to checkbv.com/Kev for 15% off your monthly background check subscription. I know people getting them for their whole family, so it's well worth the little bit of money that you might pay for it. Just be safe, be informed out here while you're dating. Being proactive is a form of self-love. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KevHick24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.